Today we have three very important stories to look at, and we want to go straight up into action. Story number one is taken from Ghana, wherever, and it says, "It's shocking how those who sang Hosanna for Bawumia are now against him." And this is Kwesi Pratt speaking, and I read. Now, the managing editor of the Inside newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr., has expressed surprise at what he referred to as the sudden change of mind among some supporters of the new Patriotic Party following the 2024 election loss. Now, according to Kwesi Pratt, the same individuals who praised the NPP flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, before the 2024 elections as one of the best candidates are now campaigning against him, labeling him as one of the worst. He said he cannot fathom why some such people have shifted their opinions on political issues, particularly the Deputy Communication Officer of the NPP, Ernest Owusu Bempa. Now, speaking in an interview on Peace FM's Kuchoko on April 15, 2025, Pratt also criticized the recent attempts to blame former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for the MPP's defeat in the 2024 elections. The last time I listened to our sister Adwoa Safo, she was saying that no matter what, Dr. Bawumia would lead the party. But I've also heard from the other side that no matter what, our brother Kennedy or Hini Ejapon would lead the party, and they are working assiduously towards that. Boakye Agyarko has also stated that the party can only improve if it returns to its core values. Now, this guy, Owusu Bempa, has stated that the election defeat should be blamed on Bawumia, rejecting him as the flag bearer. He continued to become the devil. Kwesi Pratt Jr. has spoken. Now, this is the hypocrisy of politics. My brother, for the want of power, a monkey could even be brought in as the leader of the party, as long as the monkey would get them votes. If a cockroach should lead the party and it should still give them votes, they will put Mr. Cockroach there or Dr. Cockroach there. My brother, my sister, this is what it is with our politics. We are no longer looking for the content of the character in leadership. We are looking for the ability to give us votes. Therefore, if it's Mr. Monkey who would give us the votes, fair enough. And if it is Dr. Cockroach who would give us the votes, we don't care. It's about the votes and not about the content of the character and the power of leadership, my brother, my sister. They prefer to win the elections and not be able to contribute anything meaningful to the development of the nation. My brother, my sister, to losing the election and yet be able to contribute so meaningfully to the economy of the nation. It's sad, my brother. I sit back here and I fret and sweat. What Kwesi Pratt is saying is nothing but the gospel. If Kwesi Pratt was a writer of the Bible in the days of the Bible, this would have been Pratt chapter 1 verse 1. My brother, my sister, nobody could speak ill of Nana Akufo-Addo amongst the NPP. Today he's pathetically out of power and every tongue is lashing him. Nobody was permitted to say anything ill about Bawumia. Even Kennedy Japan, who spoke so much bad things about Nana Addo and even Bawumia, at the end of the day, he was made to swallow his words, all in the sense of winning votes for Bawumia. What kind of hypocrisy is this? If the man is incompetent, he's totally incompetent. He cannot be competent within 2 days. just moments later, after you have declared him incompetent, after studying him for years, all of a sudden, within a few seconds, he has become competent? What kind of hypocrisy is this? That is why our country is going nowhere. My brother, my sister, it's all about winning elections, votes. Our leaders are no longer thinking about the welfare of the average Ghanaian. They are thinking about winning the next elections. The other day, a journalist asked me in an interview, what do you think democracy is? And I told him point blank, democracy is all about winning the next elections. In my country, that is what democracy is. It's all about how we can win the next election. It's not about how we can satisfy the people who voted in the election. I'm talking about our country's folk. And when we continue like this, my brother, my sister, we will not have a country in the next few years to come. Do you agree with me? My brother, my sister, I want to say thank you so much to Kwesi Pratt that he's been able to pinpoint this. Ajua Safo all of a sudden has a big mouth. She's talking against her own party. Meanwhile, she was one of those campaigning for her party. What a hypocrite. Owusu Bempa was one of those running around Baumia and extolling the virtues of Baumia. After losing the election, according to Kwesi Pratt, all of a sudden Baumia is a villain. He's a cancer. So malignant. My brother, my sister, until this hypocrisy stops, we will be pouring water into our democracy basket. I leave it. Next thing I quickly want to look at is also taken from Ghana Web, and it says, ignore the police, beat the traders, slaughter the cows. 3 controversial policies of Kumasi Mayor. Can I take it again? Ignore the police, beat the traders, and slaughter cows. 3 controversial policies of Kumasi Mayor. And I read, barely a month into his appointment as the mayor of Kumasi in the Ashanti region, Richard Ofori Ajiman Boedi, popularly known as King Zuba, has sparked public controversy over his policies and actions. As the administrative head of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, his bold declaration have drawn backlash. In fact, his bold declarations have drawn backlash, particularly from human rights activists and the general public. With his aim to make Kumasi work again, the mayor has proposed controversial measures, including beating traders, slaughtering stray cows, and bypassing police cooperation. The actions, my brother, my sister, have been heavily criticized by sections of the public. To be very honest with you, I like the radical nature of this guy. The only problem is that he has no common sense. That's all. I like his radical nature. His problem is that he has no common sense. So people like this, instead of insulting them, looking for their head, no, you don't do that. How did he come by these decisions? Does he have a certain board that he can sit with and jaw and look at some of these radical declarations? Or he is a one-man board, and whatever he dreams about in the night, he gets up without rallying around anybody. He implements that, like in the days of Nebuchadnezzar. Look, some people in Ghana are pigs in human skin. Those doing galamsey, can you call them human beings? They certainly are not. These are the people who are killing us, and yet they want to be called human beings. We have some dishonorables in parliament who break chairs and then legs of tables and break microphones, yet they want us to call them honorables. These are dishonorables in honorable skins. In the same vein, I am a Kumasi boy. I know Kumasi very well, from Pankrono all the way to Asokwa. My brother, my sister, I know Kumasi like I know my palm. And I know what this man is talking about. People are behaving like stray animals at Kejetia. Look how they have developed the place, yet people are still inundating the place in so much chaos and illegality. The man is frustrated. There used to be a Kumasi mayor we all were afraid of when we were in school. Akwesi Agyeman. Nana Akwesi Agyeman. In fact, Zuba is also called Agyeman. Is he the new Akwesi Agyeman? We all feared Akwesi Agyeman. And anytime Akwesi Agyeman, the mayor of Kumasi, was said to be coming around, traders all of a sudden developed common sense and behaved like human beings. But of course, those were in the days of the draconian laws. Today, my brother, my sister, you can't go out there whipping traders. This is not Guantanamo Bay. You can't do that. Much as I would have loved that it should happen, because as I said, there are some human beings who are only human beings in appearance. Their brains are the brains of pigs. These are the people who should be whipped night and day. But for the sake of democracy, anything that looks like a human being must also be protected under the umbrella of democracy. That is why I am saying that I love the radical nature of this guy. His problem is that he has no common sense. Why do you shoot and kill and slaughter stray animals? Is it their fault that they are on the street? Even if human beings that have brains and can think properly are on the streets like stray animals, my brother, my sister, why don't you slaughter them the same way we are going to slaughter the cows? They are committing the same offense. Why should you beat some and kill some? It doesn't make sense. Human beings who are supposed to have common sense are running around Kejetia, and these stray animals in the form of human beings, my brother, my sister, they say when you catch them, whip them and let them go. Yet the animals, they should kill them, shoot them, slaughter them, and feed them to Kumasi Central Prison prisoners. Why don't you slaughter the human beings too and feed them to the vultures of the air? That is where common sense comes in. My brother, my sister, much as it is frustrating, I'm going to give free counsel to the mayor. He's my friend. I love him. I'm going to shake hands with him. I would suggest that anytime you have some of these radical things to do, please sit down with a few people that you trust to have common sense. When you surround yourself with people with common sense, even if you don't have one, you are seen to be sensible. You can't kill and shoot animals around. That is against the rights of the animals. Or you don't know animals do have rights? In our country, animals have no rights. Anybody can pick up a stick and whip any animal at all. They don't care. They carry them in trucks, my brother, my sister, packed upon each other. My brother, they suffer so much trauma before they arrive at the slaughter points. They are slaughtered in most of the gory situations that we can't even mention and served onto your table for you to eat. You know what you are eating? Poison. All these animals go through a lot of trauma in Ghana before they are slaughtered. they release a certain enzyme called bile, B-I-L-E. And that is the animal's revenge for the trauma you have made it go through before killing it. That's why Islam says, feed it with a little bit of water, and then with a sharp knife, which you don't even wag in front of it, you slaughter it, aim for the jugular vein. These are all to protect you from the poisoning of the animal called the bile. Kumasi Mayor says, catch them, kill the animals, slaughter them, and let's feed them to the prisoners in Kumasi. There is going to be lawlessness. Anybody from Amakum, anybody from Akwetia Line, anybody from the Zongus can get up and catch anybody's cow, all in the name of this new directive. Or are you going to give them uniforms? Are you going to give them badges? Are they going to be walking around with guns and knives to slaughter? Jesus have mercy. What kind of draconian, colloquial interpretation of justice is this? Interesting. My brother, my sister, this notwithstanding, can I ask the question again? If human beings are straying on the streets of Kejetia, and they are only supposed to be whipped, why not whip the animals too, but you kill them, slaughter them and feed them to prisoners? Please slaughter the human beings too and feed them to the Kumasi Central Prison. Now the final story I would like to take is a very controversial one, but of course, you know that these are the stories we like to take. This is taken from my Joy Online, and it says, Ninoy describes Dag Heward Mills's comments on not paying church musicians as unfortunate. Let me read. All right. Gospel music promoter Ninoy has expressed disappointment over comments made by Dag Heward Mills, founder and general overseer of Lighthouse Chapel International, regarding payment of church musicians. Now, speaking to Doreen Avio in a recent interview on Daybreak Hits, Noy described Dag Heward Mills' statement as unfortunate, especially given his influential position in the Christian community. I think that the statement is quite unfortunate coming from a man of high rank in the Christian society. I mean, you have decided not to play instrumentalists, to pay instrumentalists, but to come out and say all of this is quite unfortunate, really. Ni further emphasized that such comments have the tendency to discourage for young and skillful talents in the church. And these things are highly discouraging for these young, skillful talents that are in the church. Doreen, you know, most of these talents go from church to some other places. And we are trying to say that leave the church, go away and go and join wherever you want to join. Use your gifts for whatever you want and don't care, he questioned. I honestly don't see the point Ni is making in this write-up. It's too disjointed for me to make any sense out of. But let me look at the meat of the whole thing. Dag Heward Mills has made some controversial remarks in the past that discouraged me totally from listening to him several years back. This was the man who said that white people were closer to God than black people. He said it categorically. He had a certain conference in Kintampo in the Bono Ahafo region at the time. This is about 10, 15 years ago. And I watched him on TV, and this was what he said. My brother, my sister, I was shocked. Is it because he's lighter, therefore he sees himself more white than black? I asked myself, as a 30-year-old boy around that time, why are white people closer to God than black people? Then he went ahead to talk about how sinful black people are, how black people are corrupt, and so on and so forth, and how the prayers of white people reach God faster than the prayer of black people. And I wanted to understand the context with which he was saying this. This is not the first time I see preachers preach against black people, using Shem and who, the children of Noah. My brother, my sister, when he said this, I was so discouraged. It took me so many years to start listening and giving an ear to this man again. And I had criticized this over and over on radio. Not a response ever came, because they probably knew that what Blakk Rasta was saying was right. So if it's right, why don't you come and correct the earlier mistake? Or were they just ignoring me because I am high on some herbs and maybe some substances, as they all prejudice us? But that notwithstanding, the man of God gained a lot of respect in my eyes. Recently, I went to shoot a music video at Eburi, thereabout, that area there. My brother, Anakazo, they call the place. The place is extremely beautiful. Even though I was made to pay in dollars, or better still, charged in dollars, which I could convert into Ghana cedis, it was worth it. Beautiful place. That was where I shot Sodom and Gomorrah, and also Man Tired. I would always want to return to the place. It's so heavenly clean and so beautiful. So this man is spending a lot of money in the name of God, the God that he believes in, and making it good enough for other people to benefit from all these. He gained a lot of respect in my eyes. I saw some students who were being trained over there and much more. But let's get to this music thing. The man of God says that any musician in the church should not be paid. But I agree with him. What else should I say? I agree 100% with Doug Heward Mills. When you go to the church, you are going to the church for spiritual reasons and spiritual benefits. That is not a factory. You are not going to the church as if you were going to your place of work. When you go to the church and you are late, nobody canes you. But when you go to your place of work, like we were told only yesterday, when you don't clock and you come in, your salary is going to be reduced, you will be punished, and blah, 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 boom, 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 boom. That is a place of work. The church is a spiritual place. And people serve in so many different capabilities, for crying out loud. Some are ushers. Some are pastors. My brother, my sister, some are cleaners. Some are serving as security people. And some, my brother, my sister, are administrators of the church. Now, the big problem here is this. Are the pastors in the church being paid? Why are they being paid? Is it because they have asked them to dedicate all their time to doing the pastorly work? If musicians in that sense are also asked to dedicate all their time to doing the music work, then they must be paid. My brother, my sister, let's think properly. If there is a pastor who comes to the church to pastor, right after that he goes to his day work, he must not be paid. He is doing his spiritual work. My brother, my sister, in that same vein, if there is an administrator who is a member of the church and can do it part-time and go to his day job, he must not be paid. But if he's asked asked to dedicate all his time to the church, then he must be paid. So the big question again, are musicians full-time workers of the church? The church needs workers, right? So if I can dedicate 10 minutes to sweeping the place, I should not be forced to do 1 hour. If I am forced to do 1 hour, then pay me for the 15 minutes that I am working. It's now work. It's not coming from my heart. If you go to the church and the singers are not ready, do not feel so entitled that there must be singers. Where are they? They have to appear at this time. No. They come in as to when the Spirit leads them. But if you want them to come at a specific time and leave at a certain specific time, then they are working. I know many people are confused, but that is what it is. My brother, my sister, if I am a trained accountant and I attend church at Dag Heward-Mills's church, and I know I can use my accounting skills, maybe every morning before I go to work, I can go and spend some 1 hour at the church to balance the accounts and do other things before going for my day job. And then the pastor or the CEO or the boss, whatever the name is or the title is, says, you know what? The church needs you beyond the 1 hour. Can you forgo your day job? That now becomes a job. I understand if they sacrifice a bit of their salaries in honor of God. Same must be the case of the musician. If he is a professional musician and he can dedicate only 2 hours on Sunday to singing in the church, and the rest of the hours he can move to other places and make money, and you want to hold him beyond the 2 hours, you must be honest to pay him. Finally, my brother, if all these people who are working for free in the house of God, all in the name of religion and worship, continue to see the pastor prospering, Dag Heward-Hills prospering, his children are flying in and out of the country, attending universities in Howard and so many other places, whilst the musician who spends almost all his time in the church is still languishing in poverty, then there must be a reason to rebel. The prosperity should be spread amongst all the church workers and all the church people. One man is never supposed to be entitled to all this wealth, whilst the church people are forced every now and then to sacrifice. Yet the man of God, there's nothing like sacrifice in his dictionary. When he preaches for 1 minute and you see how much he earns, you'll be shocked. This man will sing for 8 million hours and gets nothing, all in the name of Jesus. Please, I think that was what Heward-Mills was trying to say. When you come to the church and sing, it's okay. But when we need you beyond the hours that you can comfortably dedicate to God, then we must compensate you. Hallelujah.
Yabo.